Hello and welcome, it's Annelie van Rensburg, and today I'm going to do a little bit of texture paste on this board. I've got a lot of stencils, but I think I'm going to use this one for on top. Maybe the bird twice there, and then maybe this underneath. I'm just going to use texture paste. You can use, I've got a video about texture paste if you want to see what type of texture paste you can use. I'll put it up in the link. And for now you can just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. I'm just going to do the texture paste and let it dry, and then I'll start to paint on it. I'm just going to get myself a little bit of texture paste, put it in here. And I think I'm going to start with this one first because I'm scared I'm going to run out of space. I think I want to put too much on, but yeah, that's okay. So you just pick it up and you just smear it from the inside or the outside, whatever works for you. I don't want to do a little bit of texture paste there, so I'm just gonna try and get it down first. If you start putting the texture paste on, it helps it to, then you can actually leave it, but yeah, and then you can start to spread it around. I'm going to take off this excess. You must just remember, if you do a few stencils and you want to move on to the next one, just go and put this one in a bucket of water or in a basin or something with water, that it can start to dry, because of this dries on your stencil, you're going to have a lot of problems. I think I just want a little bit of texture on the stencil area, so I'm just going to do this. And there you can see my stencil. Okay, I think I'm going to just mirror this one on that side, because I haven't got a stencil with two birds. Just make sure it's getting a little bit tricky now, not to disturb that. So I think I'm just going to go for maybe those leaves and the bird. If I maybe get some on my canvas, I'll just take it off with my palette knife. So don't worry too much. I need to take this tail a little bit off, otherwise I'm not going to fit them all. Just want to see that I've got all of the bird in. And maybe those two leaves there. I might have to maybe just use that leaf as well, that branch. You can put it on as thick as you like. I don't want to put it too thick because I'm too impatient to wait for it to dry. So, okay, my bird is done. I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm just going to clean it before I mirror the next one on that side. Okay, now it's for this area here on the bottom. Let me just get another stencil. I just want to see something. I think I'm going to go for this one. I want something like a border there on the bottom. Let me just pick up my texture paste first. Put my stencil down and I'm just going to let it go both sides so it's a little bit off. Okay, there I go. So I start on one side now, just to let my stencil stick. There I pressed into my bird, but it's no biggie. I'm sorry for now you can't see what I'm doing, but You will see when I remove the stencil, and there I just moved it, but okay, it's not that big problem. I'll see when I lift it. This one is dry now, but as it dried I realized I don't like this flat background there. So I'm going to take a little bit of my texture paste on a brush, and I'm just going to work a little bit of texture into the board at the back. I don't know why I forgot to put a little bit of texture in the background, but that's luckily not a too big problem. Now you can see how to easily fix it. You can even do this. I'll see when I fold up all the areas if I'm gonna dab it or if I'm gonna make this short quick marks, or if I rather, I think I'm gonna go for that, but I just want to fold my board quickly and get my paste everywhere. If you work on a hard day and you want to do this, work in sections that it doesn't dry, and then you've got a problem if you want to go back and put texture on. And I think that's enough for now. I think it's gonna work. So now let's just let it dry, and then we'll come back and do the fun part. Okay, this is dry now, so I didn't prime it in the beginning, so I'm just going to prime it now with buff titanium, or you can prime it with white, any color that you've got. So I'm just going to prime the whole board, everything, the stencils as well and so on, and then I will let it dry, and then I'm going to paint on it. So if you want, you can prime your board beforehand. I don't worry too much about these, because if you put them on after you've primed your board, so if you prime your board beforehand, you can just put on your texture paste and then just start. Actually, the paint goes into these grooves for me more easier when you painted your board beforehand. But yeah, I haven't done it, so I'm just going to cover everything because it's too much trouble to paint around them. Okay, this one is dry now. I'm going to use this free flow acrylic paint. I'll put the link, the colors that I use in the description. For now, I'm just going to put a brown wash over this entire piece, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll come back and I'll work on top of it. If you haven't got these free flow acrylic paints, you can use your plain, your ordinary acrylics. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to put a touch of water with it. If you use your acrylic, you can just water it down as well, up to the color that you can make it as light or as dark as you want. I want mine rather dark because I'm gonna paint over this and leave some of these valleys underneath for a shadowy part or effect, because this is very textured at the moment. So yeah, you can just sit down and watch me paint. this is dry now, so I'm just going to take my buff titanium or any whitish beige color you've got, and I'm going to paint this, and then I'll just highlight maybe with gold or something. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just going to take my buff titanium and I'm going to, or you can use your chalk paint, it doesn't really matter, it depends on what you've got on hand. Any acrylic will do. Okay, this is dry now. I decided I'm going to make my birds green. I don't know if it's going to work. And then I'm going to make this bronze and gold. But as I said, if it doesn't work, we just paint over it. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of my brown green colors here in the back, because I want to highlight with a lighter green on top of the birds, because remember it's a stencil. So I'm just going to put random places. I'm taking a little bit of my burnt umber with my olive green. I'll put all the colors in the description, don't worry. And I'm just going to go in some places with my burnt umber. And my green. don't want the copper to go on top. I want to let it go in between at certain places. So I'm just putting it down into the, try and put it into the grooves. I'll just go up with the bolt and just touch the raised areas a little bit when this is done. I just want to get that white that I've put in between there a little bit, not that you see it that much. I changed my mind there. If you go over an area and it's dry, you can just slightly wipe it away while it's wet. Okay, it started looking ugly, but hopefully it will change. So now I'm going to take a little bit of my maybe my olive, and I'm going to take a little bit of this pale green and a little bit of my green gold, and then I'm going to do the birds with that, and then I'll put my gold on here. So I'm going to speed up some of the processes that you don't get bored, so just sit back and relax. I just took my buff titanium and I went a little bit with a small brush nearer to the sides, and I just blended that a little bit. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to take my sandpaper and I'm just going to take off a little bit of my paint that I don't like, and then I'll just touch it up again. I decided this is too white for me, so I'm going to take my antique glaze This one is from, for the South Africans, this one is from Petite Rouge. You get a lot of colors in this. This is for chalk paint. What you can also do if you don't have it, you can just use your burnt umber. Your normal burnt umber or raw umber. And you can just thin it down with a little bit of water. And then you can brush it over. Then you do exactly the same. I'm going to brush this over here. And I've just put it in a little bottle for me to make it easier. I don't like to struggle. So what you're going to do with this, you're going to brush it over this. You will see immediately when you do this, you can see it tones down your white. What it also do, it goes into this valleys. What I mean with that, you've got this texture on here. So what it does, it's going into the texture. I hope you can see this there. It goes into the texture there. And then when you take your wet wipe and you touch lightly the surface, then you take off some of it and some of it you leave there. So I hope you can see that clear. I'm just going to put it in everywhere. I'm going to go over this whole thing. I'm even going to do a little bit on the sides as well. So if something gets too bright for you, you just put burnt umber or yellow ochre or any type of wash that you want to put there. You can put it over there if you want to maybe push something a little bit more back. And then you just leave it on for a second and then you wipe it away. In the summer you can almost immediately start wiping away, but in the winter you can leave it for a minute or two. Otherwise you're going to take everything off with one go. If there's some places that you want to have a little bit more depth, you can even put in a little bit more. As I said, there's no right and wrong for me in art, as long as you enjoy it. That's the thing for me. Experiment, try new things out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's no biggie. You can, if you don't like this, you can sand it down and work over it again or paint it another color. I thought I was making a big mistake with this green and now I like it. But the moment I put on the antique glaze or the burnt umber wash, you tone it down and you make it, you turn it down everywhere. You know, that it makes it almost like, I don't know what you call it in English, but I think you know what I mean. So I'm just going to give it a minute and then I'm going to wipe it away with my wet wipe. I'm just going to maybe put a little bit of gold there and there, and then I will see. I don't want to put it everywhere. before I'm killing it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me just show you close up. If you did, please like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you can get future uploads of my videos.